If you're incredibly nosy or incredibly curious to know how much indie yarn dyers make, this is the video for you. Hi everyone, it's Hannah and I hope you're well. Today I am going to be talking to you about the money that I made from the afternoon tea collection, which is a yarn collection that I launched in mid-April, shipped it at the end of May, and in June I had a shop update with all of the extras. I've still got some extras in stock, so this isn't sort of when everything is sold, but I've mainly got pre-order stats. This was the first yarn collection that I launched since giving birth to my daughter last July. I have a 1-year-old, wow. And yeah, I was really surprised by how well it did. It's a very different vibe to the usual collection that I do. My yarn has always kind of been inspired by nerdy things like Dungeons and Dragons, and last year I had a Stardew Valley yarn collection. It's usually quite bright colours, as you can see, but with this one I fancy doing something a little bit softer, a little bit different, and you all seem to like it. Because I'm currently in the throes of dyeing yarn advent calendars, I've got them all lined up next to me, just here. The daily advent, I've got 4 colourways left to dye. I do need to over dye one of them because somehow, even though I used a completely different technique and completely different dye, it's ended up very similar to one of the other ones. But I laid them all out to see where I have holes and what I need to dye more of. And yes, I'm excited. 4 days left to dye of the daily advent. I've still got the weekly advent to do and a 100-gram skein of the daily advent. So there's still plenty I'm doing, don't you worry. But I can't show you anything that I'm doing because it's all secret colorways. So I thought I would come on here and talk to you about the yarn collection. It was quite a modest success of a collection. I mean, everyone has their own personal definitions of success. There are some indie dyers out there who sell thousands of skeins in a yarn collection, and the thought of that really stresses me out. I didn't want this to be a huge collection. I know it sounds like I'm just saying that because I sold 325 skeins in total in this pre-order, which I think is pretty good. Pretty good. I'm very pleased with that number. So I know when it sounds like I'm saying I don't want it to be a huge success, it sounds like, oh, I don't mind, when actually I do mind. But I don't mind because, like I said, this was the first yarn collection since my daughter was born. I can't work every single day at the moment because I have my daughter multiple times a week. I get a solid 2.5 days a week to work. And in that time, I need to do YouTube things. I need to do advent things. Now I do anyway. I need to do yarn dyeing, twisting, labeling. There's so much that I need to do. And unfortunately, that's not quite enough time. So I didn't want to sell thousands of skeins because I wanted this to have a turnaround time of around 6 to 8 weeks. It turns out it was 6 weeks on the nose from the time that the first yarn was ordered. The yarn pre-order opened, I suppose I should say, on the 18th of April to the 30th of May, which was when I shipped them. 6 weeks. Delightful. So shall we just get talking money? Yeah. Are you as curious as I am? Yeah. This required quite a lot of maths, and I've had to go back and change it and redo it. I've already filmed over half this video before, and then I realised I completely forgot website processing fees for payments, so I had to go and work out how to find them and work all that out. I have an accountant who does everything for me now. So all of the numbers I'm going to be giving are going to be in pounds, because if I went through and gave every single denomination of currency out there, we would be here for a very long time and not get anywhere. So the total amount of money, or the gross sales that I took for the afternoon tea collection, is £7,066.03. Now that sounds a bit good, doesn't it? That sounds a bit good for 6 weeks of work. £7,000, delightful. So we take off discounts, which is £491.86. I had 2 discounts for the afternoon tea collection. I had a Patreon discount, which is 10% off yarn. That is for the Chai Latte crew and the Biscuit Brew crew. You each get 10% off. There's a discount code off of yarn. And yes, that was used for a total of £246.55. The reason some of these numbers are a little bit weird is because of currency. If you buy yarn from me in another currency, it converts it with what it was at the time. It also charges a little bit extra if you're paying in a different currency, because the website, I don't see any of the extra money because the website charges to convert it to pounds. The other discount code that I had was an anti-fat tax discount code. Blah, blah, blah. This discount was for people who would like to make garments but require more skeins of yarn. And in this collection, I noticed it wasn't as heavily abused as it was in the Stardew Valley collection. I noticed there were a lot of people in the Stardew Valley collection ordering multiple sweater quantities where you needed fewer skeins of yarn. I know this because they were on different bases and still using the anti-fat tax discount code. And the problem with this is that I don't want to put a limit on base and single colours, because what if you want to make a stripy jumper? What if you want to make a jumper held with mohair or fluff of some form? And yeah, I just don't, yeah, it wasn't heavily abused in this one anyway. So the total number for that discount was £245.31. I also did free UK shipping on orders over £100 and free international shipping on orders over £200. And that came to a total of £198.70. So now we are down to £6,375.47. So like I say, I sold a total number of 325 skeins. This was across 7 bases and 6 colourways. I had 3 new bases in this collection, 2 new luxury bases and a new Surrey Cloud lace base, which you get more meters per gram, or per 50 grams you get more meters, so it works out much better. I won't do a complete breakdown of how much of each colourway that I sold. I don't know if you find that interesting or not, but we'll stick with the money portion of things, shall we? So from Yarn Undyed, I get 2 bases. I get merino sock and sparkle sock. I sold 91 skeins of my merino sock base. It is £4.92 per skein. This is including VAT. My business currently doesn't earn enough to pay VAT as of time of recording. I think I'm getting pretty close. So I currently pay VAT on everything and I can't claim anything back. So all of these prices are including VAT, which in the UK is at 20%. So £4.92 per skein. So for merino sock, it's a total of £447.72. Sparkle sock, I only sold 13 skeins of, and that is £5.54 per skein, and that is a total of £72.02. The rest of my yarn I get from Chester Wool Company, and so sturdy sock I sold 65 skeins of that. It's £5.54 per skein, so that totals £360.10. Sturdy DK is also £5.54 a skein. I sold 35 skeins of that, and so that is a total of £193.90. Delightful 4-ply is one of my 2 luxury bases. I sold 45 skeins of that. I'm very pleased with that. That is £8.22 per skein, so that one is a pricey one. So that is for a total of £369.90. Delightful DK, I sold 40 of those, also fab. That is also £8.22 per skein for a total of £328.80. And then my new Surrey Cloud lace base, I sold 39 skeins of that, and that is £5.51 per skein for a total of £214.89. So for the yarn for this pre-order, I paid £1,987.33. I was very fortunate in that I had a lot of this yarn already in the dye shed because I had overbought for East Anglia Yarn Festival, because I just thought if I'm ordering loads of yarn, I may as well fill the box. But I still bought the yarn. I still paid for the yarn, I just didn't necessarily pay for it after the pre-order. But that takes the money that we had down to £4,388.14. Now, shipping charges were £441.90 off of Shopify, but in actuality, I paid £539.96. So that takes us to £3,848.18. I haven't worked out how much electricity I would have used, how much water I used. I didn't need to buy any much dye. I bought some dye. I didn't buy much dye. So I hazarded citric acid to be about £20, for a tub of that, and I think acid dye was maybe £30. So that takes us down to, I didn't actually work this bit out, £3,798.18. And now we come to card charges. If you pay with a card on Shopify or on PayPal, we get charged a fee. It sucks. I understand why. They have to keep their business going as well. They can't just do it for free. I get it. It is annoying though. So for the pre-order on Shopify, I paid £209 in Shopify fees, and on PayPal, I paid £111.38 in PayPal fees. PayPal takes a higher percentage than Shopify does. So if ever you're given the option, try to avoid PayPal. But I still use PayPal on occasion. It is a very safe way to pay. It's an easier way to get your money back if anything goes wrong and all of that fun stuff. But just as a general rule, if I know, love and trust the business, I generally do use Shopify or whatever payment thing they have over PayPal, because PayPal is really expensive. So the total amount of card processing fees is £320.38, sorry. 320. Let's write this down. So the total amount of profit, technically, that my business made from this pre-order is £3,477.80. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'm very pleased with that. Like I say, this doesn't include electricity and water. I obviously need to pay tax on all of these sales. I need to pay business tax. I need to pay myself. I need to have some money in savings. I like to. I need to pay my accountant. I need to pay for my website. And I need to pay my own personal tax. Did I mention that one? I hope so, because I need to pay my own personal tax as well. The other thing that I only remembered whilst I was eating my lunch that I completely forgot to calculate was the cost of envelopes, cellophane bags and shipping labels and like thank you labels and all of the tea bags. I completely forgot to calculate any of that into the cost. So take off a little bit more because I just completely forgot to calculate that entirely. So that's that's my bad. So that is not just pure profit that I just can pop in my pocket and that is just spending money. That's not that, unfortunately. I do need to pay quite a lot of other stuff out of that, but that is the profit that my business got from this pre-order, unless there's anything I've forgotten. I had a small shop update with the extra skeins that I had after the pre-order had shipped and a couple of weeks after, so once everyone had received their bits and all of that loveliness. So I had a small shop update with all of the extras. There are still some in stock if you're interested, but there's no pressure at all. So from that, Fine China actually did better than macarons, which really surprises me. Anyway, £2,449.77 is what I got in total from the skeins that I sold. I had to work this out a little bit differently because I also re-updated my shop with everything else I had in stock. So some of the orders would have contained those skeins and not just pre-order skeins. The shipping for those was £300.07, oddly specific, £21.64 in discounts. I imagine that's in the Patreon discount code. The actual shipping cost that I paid was £312.91, and I haven't worked out the Shopify and PayPal fees, I won't lie, for those ones. But all in all, not too shabby at all. I haven't worked out how much I paid for the yarn for the after pre-order sales and all of that because my brain was just getting a little bit frazzled. As you can tell, I missed loads of stuff out and had to go back and add it all in. But that, to me, that is a very good pre-order. I know that seems like an awful lot of money to have for 6 weeks work. The thing is, I'm probably not going to have another collection out until the autumn. I don't want to be bombarding collections down your throat almost every single month because there's only so much yarn people can buy. I feel like there's a saturation point at some point. Advents have sold, they completely sold out. I have done very, very well financially from selling all of my Advents. Therefore, that is keeping me ticking over and keeping my business ticking over. So I'm able to pay, I've already paid taxes. And, oh, I actually have I completely forgot. I have a phone call with my accountant this afternoon in an hour and a half. So I need to go get some lunch before that phone call. I completely forgot. So thank you for reminding me. You didn't remind me, but thank you for reminding me. But yeah, because Advent sales have done quite well, that is able to keep me ticking over. I also get a very small amount of income from YouTube, which I'm incredibly grateful for. And I have Patreon, where I get about £1,700 a month, which is amazing. £400 of that goes on postage for the chai latte tier, as well as, I could actually work out, £475.20 goes on the mini skeins for that. So of that approximate £1,700 that I get in my bank account from Patreon, I actually have about £825 after mini skein costs and shipping costs. That doesn't include citric acid, dye, electricity, and all of that fun stuff. So just so you get like a general idea on, yes, where else I get my money from. It's not just on one place, it's from several different places, because I feel like it's important. I get about, I don't know if I can actually talk about it, I'll cut it out if I can't. I get about £150 from YouTube, which is not chump change, but also it's not paying the mortgage. And yeah, I just think diversifying your income is a very good thing to do if you can do it. But the majority of my money is made here with my business. And I would love to grow my YouTube so I can get a little bit more from that, because I really enjoy doing YouTube. But yeah, let me know if you found this video interesting. I know it's probably not for everyone. It's just me spouting a load of numbers at you, which probably isn't the most exciting thing in the world. But I always find it fascinating to hear how, I'm nosy. I like knowing how much other businesses are making. So before I became a yarn dyer, I wanted to know how much money they were making. And so, yeah, that's just me being transparent about my latest collection. If you would like one of these, if you enjoyed this video and you would like one of these for every yarn collection that I do, let me know. I'm not going to do one for Advents because I don't have the headspace to work that out between, if everyone just paid in full from the off, it would be much, much easier, but they don't, because I offer installment payments, and so I can't sit and work that out because it was going to get too complicated. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you would like to see more, please feel free to subscribe. I post a new video here every single Friday, and let me know if there's any other video ideas that you would like to see from me. With all that being said, thank you so much for watching. Please leave me a teapot emoji if you got this far. And yeah, I don't think there's anything else I need to say. Thanks for watching. You're an incredible person, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye.